Hello, 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 everyone. I am super excited because I decided a couple of days ago that I wanted to do a series of talk on this, y'all. My book, my book, my book, my book, my book. Listen, it's a 1 year anniversary, 1 year review, and I needed to bring it to the forefront to make sure those of you that have not gotten your copy of the book yet, you've got to do it, guys. You've got to do it. Now, here's the deal. We were not created to live from crisis to crisis. Okay? So if you're watching, I need you to declare that with me. I was not created to live from crisis to crisis. I'm not feeling y'all. I'm not hearing. Dr. Diana, come on, shout it with me. I was not created to live from crisis to crisis. Oh, listen, Cherie, you got to declare it, Cherie. Listen, I was not created to live from crisis to crisis. So the book, Effective Living, this whole model is built around bringing us to a place where we're taking control of our lives. Okay? So it's the 1 year anniversary. The book came out a year ago. And here's the deal, pandemic strong, y'all. Pandemic, pre-pandemic, post-pandemic. Come on, whatever you want to do. It's principle driven. I was not created to live from Christ. Every single one of y'all that popping, I want you to write that in the chat. Own that statement. I was not created to live from crisis to crisis. Now, here's the deal. I'm joined with my good friend, Sabrina Williams, who got a copy early on. And listen, man, she's been doing her thing. How are you doing, Sabrina?
Hey, Ricardo, happy anniversary. Happy book anniversary. I'm so excited, my friend. I'm so excited. Yes.
Listen, Sabrina, I'm excited as well because testimonies kept coming in. We got Linda. Linda, listen, you got to announce it, Linda. I was not created to live from crisis to crisis. The book is principle driven. It's not a book, it's a tool. Okay, it'll help you to live life right. And so, Sabrina, over the past year, we've gotten comments from so many people who have read the book, loved the book, and continue to go back to the book and review it to apply the principles that's in it. Now, before we go into the book, we got people who are like, who is Sabrina Williams? And then we have people who know Sabrina Williams. Our community knows Sabrina Williams. Could you do me a favor and tell our viewing audience a little bit about yourself before we dive into our talk?
Sure, I will. I am Sabrina L. Williams. I am from Chi-Town, Chicago. I am a speaker. I am a moderator. I am a technology consultant. And I am a wife and a mother of two amazing young boys. So I do some everything.
Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, Chicago. What's it? Is it Chi-Town?
Chi-Town.
I love Chicago. And listen, man, some of the best people in Chicago, some of my best friends are in Chicago. I feel family in Chicago.
Yeah. You family.
I know, right? I appreciate y'all. But here's the deal. I haven't been to Chicago in a year, 13 months, 14 months, 15 months, something like that.
Yeah, you have to come out.
I got to come out. And so look at this, y'all. I got my shot.
I got one down, one more to go.
I got one more to go too. You know?
Yep.
Yeah. Cherie says, not boys, they are men.
You know they my boys.
Hello. Get it right. But here's the deal. We have people watching us. Hey, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for sharing. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. Our goal every day is to provide practical principles to winning in life. When I wrote this book, I sat down and I thought, I wanted something that will survive the test of time. I wanted something that was principle-centered. Yeah. Sabrina, when you look at life and you look at what happened in 2020, when you think about the disruption of our society and that, a lot of people found themselves questioning, how am I living? Yeah. The whole term effective living, I've been pushing that message. But it is a commitment to how you're supposed to show up, which is, I don't want to just merely exist. I want to live. How important is it for a person to make a commitment to say, you know what? I want to live.
It's so important. And I really like that because you talk about that in the book. Even in this season, if we go back to our why, I love that you break that down. If we go back to our why, even in whatever season we're in, your why was in that season even before you got here. So you were still supposed to go on with your effective living. So now you just have to rethink how to do the why, right? Because you talk about your why doesn't change. And so it just caused us to rethink it. And if you use the tools that was in here, then you'll be able to properly plan it. So it's so important.
It's a book full with tools. You are right. A book full with tools. Now, let me ask you this. Let's dive into the book. When you looked at the book, there are so many chapters in the book, guys. If you haven't gotten the book, let's look at the chapter. The big question, which is centered around the why. What is success? And we dive into that. The balanced life. We dealt with belief in yourself. We dealt with the crippling effect of excuses, mastering time, habits. Watch this, developing healthy habits, the boomerang principle, study the past. We talk about, what's this, the principle of progression. And last but not least, the faith factor. If you're watching us today, I'm interested in hearing what's your favorite chapter. Sabrina, what's your favorite chapter? Tell our viewing audience.
All of them were really good because, again, there were tools in them, but I love mastering your time. I find that when I'm talking to people, they don't have control of their time. And you're always talking about that. If you don't have control of your day gets away from you. And so I love that you just talked about it. You gave those tips on how to manage our time. And I find that when you're planning, and if you have time management, you won't allow things to distract you. And then you're running away from that. And then you're not living that effective life that you had it. So I really love this time management chapter. I like when you talked about do not disturb on your phone. That's so necessary, because sometimes when you're just trying to get things done, people calling you and distracting you. I like that you put the principles in here. I like the daily recap, ending with procrastination, that is so huge. If you manage your time, you won't feel like you need to procrastinate because you have a schedule and you got yourself. And I like it's discipline. It teaches us how to be disciplined. Effective living just don't come to you just because you want it. That discipline is necessary. And so you always talk about that. So that I love all the chapters, but that mastering time really is my chapter.
It is so interesting that you picked the time one, because you're right. There are people all the time who say, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. Get the book. Learn about the fact that all of us have 168 hours within a week. It is how you manage your time. It's how, because listen, if everybody, the one common denominator with all of us is that we all have been given the same amount of time, but yet, Sabrina, there are people who say time and time again, I don't have it. You've seen it. You've seen it in ministry. You've seen it in the career of others who just in the neighborhood, family members. So it's a mismanagement of time.
And we're all on a schedule, whether we know it or not. We have, our show come on at this time. Or I gotta, so cut out those things that's not making you have that effective living. You talk about that all the Time. So instead of watching that show, put in the work.
Put in the work. Put in the work. Listen, guys, if you're on a journey to creating a life you don't need a vacation from, you're going to need to put in the work, okay? Put in the work. Tell yourself, I'm going to put in the work because I want to be who God created me to be. Now, there are a lot of people who need the book but haven't taken the time to get the book. Tonight, I'm talking with my good friend, Sabrina Williams, and we're wanting to challenge you. Get a copy of the book now. You need to get a copy of the book. Now, here's the deal, Sabrina. There are some people who, they get the book, they don't read the book. They don't finish the book. They don't engage in the practices necessary to getting the reward from the book. Now, I know in Chicago, as is Dallas, very progressive area. And if you don't be careful, everything can overtake you, right? I mean, you can find yourself losing yourself in the busyness of everything. Do you agree?
Absolutely. Chicago is one of those move fast or stay home, sit towns. So people be like, you don't understand my situation. I got to catch the train. You don't understand Dallas traffic. You don't understand this. You don't understand. Listen, life is all about principles. And if you discover the principles, I teach Sabrina, principles are like the combination numbers on the lock. And once you know all the numbers,
Hey, come on. Once you know the numbers, you can open it up.
It's open.
Hey, and you can get access to everything, which then gives you the ability to move as you want to move. Now, here's the deal. It is possible for you to know a few of the numbers and not all the numbers. And the interesting thing about life is when it comes to the combination lock, a few numbers isn't enough.
Yeah.
A few numbers. So what we did was we made a book that I believe has all of the numbers.
Yeah.
All of the numbers. Sabrina, when we look back at this book, let's go in and talk about your favorite chapter. I'm going to do my favorite chapter again. Let's open that up and let's talk about some of your more prominent points that we can look at and just really talk about so people can know, hey, I need to get this book.
Yeah. Let me just say this, Ricardo, because you know I'm from Chicago. We like to be transparent. Yeah. Ricardo Miller is my friend, y'all. So he could write a book. I'm gonna buy it, right? Support. Yeah. But I want you to know I'm not on here because he's just my friend. I bought it to support. I read the book. You know, so I was like, yes, my friend, I'm gonna buy it. I read the book and I like the tools, the numbers, but it had the combination because you can have all the numbers and don't put the numbers in the right sequence and you still can't get in, right? And so what I like about this book is he took us through the journey of what we need to do from beginning to end to help motivate us and get us to where we need to be. And so one of the things, which is my weakness that I have, is healthy habits. Healthy habits chapter just really helped me say, okay, Sabrina, you got to get together because it's not just about you wanting to know your purpose, having the plan. But if you can't live to accomplish it, if you're too tired to do it, then that's not really going to get you anywhere. You know, you're going to be ready to go to bed while other people are working. And so healthy habits made me think about not just my body, but how am I feeling physically? How am I feeling mentally? You know, when do I need to actually just check in with how I'm doing completely as a person? And so I love that you talked about that. I love that you talked about we only have one body. And do we know the risk factors? You know, diving into our history of our family, knowing what could be upon us. I really thought that even though the time management is my favorite, this one actually convicted me to make me do better so that I can live effectively and live that long life.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined with my good friend Sabrina Williams, and we're talking about the book, Effective Living, and Principles, a guide that's going to help us to construct our lives. But COVID-19, when it hit in 2020, a lot of people found themselves living a life they don't enjoy. They don't enjoy. They were just merely getting by. They don't like where they live. They don't like where they work. They don't like what they're about. It's like when you go on vacation and you feel like you need a vacation from the vacation, you know, you wait for the weekend only to find yourself Monday comes before you feel like Friday just ended, but Monday is here again. And then it's like, I don't like what I'm doing. So I believe that you ought to unlearn what you should have never learned in the beginning and then start discovering that it's never too late. It's never too late. Sabrina, let's dive into some more things that really just stood out to you that you want to give to our audience.
I want to get to the audience. I like to go back to that first chapter as well, because it's a statements that you made. It's two statements that I really like that you made. On page 3, when we're talking, you said the why. And I want to talk about that again because it ties into your effective living. My why is helping people discover their purpose and maximize their potential with the ultimate goal of creating a life they don't want to take a vacation from, living the life to the fullest. I think that every day, if people search down inside why they're not happy or where they feel like something is missing, it's because they're not living that life. And I think if you're watching this today and you feel like that, and you just don't understand why, you need to get this book because it takes you through that journey. And that's the biggest question that I always get as a pastor, counseling, whatever I'm doing. What's my purpose? Well, you got to ask God that. But after that, how do we get to where you need to be? I really like that statement. And then if I could just share one more statement that I like, and it is your, I like to just say your decree. You know, on page 25, when you're talking about believing in yourself, because understanding your why is one thing, but actually believing that you can accomplish that why is that journey. And so when you say this out loud, I am not an accident. I am handcrafted by God, and his hand of the purpose is upon my life. I am a mover. I am a shaker. I am a world changer. I am here to live an intentional, fulfilling, balanced life. Like, say that every day to yourself. Boost you, even on the days, because you talk about the days that you didn't even feel like, man, I want to give up. Say into that to yourself, put something inside of you and just make you say, no, I can do this. I can complete my why. And so those two things together just really is just half of the reason why you should just get this book and read it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're joined with my good friend Sabrina Williams. We're doing a series of talk this month. I decided last week, Friday, I was going to do this because I want to make sure this book ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
It ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
And we wrote the book where we made it timeless. I mean, like literally, it's a book that can go on and on and on because it's principle centered. I remember I said, I don't want to put the concept of a style in the book. Style and fashion, they go in and out.
Yeah.
Okay, style and fashion, they're not consistent. That they don't last eternally. But principles are eternal.
Yeah.
Principles are like lighthouses. They don't move.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you violate the principle, there's a cause and effect that comes out of that.
Yeah.
But if you apply the principles, there is a reward.
Yeah.
I believe that there are more people, they're waking up. They're waking up. Now, Sabrina, from a leadership standpoint, how important is it for the person just to not settle and tell yourself, in your view, I am giving myself a chance to still evolve in becoming a better person and growing and learning and accepting. Because the truth is, that's the deal. Somebody who's 60, if you still got 20 years here, come on, which is highly possible. A person who's 60 could still have 20 years easily possible, right?
Yep.
So now the truth is, why check out when you can decide to live life effectively? Talk to our viewing audience about the commitment to constant improvement, growing, learning, and reading for growth.
Yeah, especially as a leader, because you said that leaders have people following them. That's the only way you become a leader.
Yeah.
So whoever is following you, whether you know they're following you or not, if you don't grow, they don't grow. If you don't show them that, hey, there is an effective way of living a life, they won't live that effective way of living life. If you don't have principles and discipline, you can't help them get principles and discipline. So I think as a leader, we should want to and desire to just grow so that the people that are following us can grow. But as a person, you should just want to evolve into everything that God has put inside of you. We never maximize or reach the potential of everything God has inside of us if we're not constantly reading and searching and meditating on who we're created to be and how can we use our gifts and talents to be effective in the world and make a difference and change the world. You talked about being a world changer. And so not just for our own self gratitude and pride, but to fulfill our lives so that we can live that abundant life. But so that also we can show other people how they can live that abundant life, which is really what I like about this platform. You could have just stopped and said, hey, I got my awards, I got my accolades, I'm doing the things I need to do. But to go back and reach back and say, hey, people, I want to show you how to live the effective life. So come on this journey with me. Let me show you how you too can be a world changer. So I love it all the way around.
Hey, listen, I like what you said because I talked about that in the book about journey. It's a journey.
Yeah.
Effective living is a journey. It's not a destination. Okay. It's not a destination. And you got to be a growing leader so you can grow leaders. You have to be a growing parent so you can grow your children. You have to be a growing person so you don't find yourself stuck in society because everything's changing. Everything's changing. Everything's evolving. Sabrina, from a technology standpoint, isn't it amazing? The things that you probably used occasionally last year, this time, in the last 12 months, you have quadrupled the amount of engagement that you've actually been involved in relations to technology and having to accept a new day. We're in a new day. Talk to us about that.
I can't even express how, and it's been good for my business because I'm a technology consultant, but people who were refusing to grow and change had to instantly learn it or be left behind. And so I think that if we do it consistently, then we're not having to catch up. So in the world of technology, to learn, technology changes day by day.
Yep,
So you
yep,
can't
yep,
stay stuck on what you knew about technology.
yep,
StreamYard is amazing.
yep.
Is this going to be the next thing 2 months from now? We don't know. If they're going to
Right.
continue to grow, they won't be. And so that's how we have to be.
Yeah.
We can't never say we arrived at that spot.
Yeah.
No, we have to keep going. And so technology, if we use technology in that sense, we have to do it. And the leaders, to live effectively and to show people effectively, you got to learn technology as well. Ricardo, you were flying all over the world.
Yep.
And now you've been doing just as much by way of technology. And so I think that's just parallel to how we have to be as humans. We have to make sure that we're consistently growing in everything so that we don't stay stuck.
Come on.
Yeah.
The goal is to not stay stuck.
Yes.
Because if you still got time in front of you,
Yeah.
you might as well learn how to progressively embrace that time to get the most out of it. I don't know about you, but I want to hear well done. Yeah. I want to hear well done. Now, Sabrina, I want your 2 or 3 most powerful statements. But while we're getting ready to pull up your most powerful statement, I want to remind you guys, go to the website and please do me a favor. Buy a book for a friend. Buy a book for your son or daughter. Buy a book for a neighbor. As a matter of fact, listen, you should buy a couple of books for those in your church group. Or you may have some people at work that if they got the right tool, it can be the difference maker for their lives. So do me a favor and say, you know what, Ricardo, I'm going to get a signed copy. I'm going to ricardomiller.com. I want a signed copy because I want to make sure that the people in my circle, we are all getting information alike to ensure that we can move forward together. The goal is to live life effectively. If you don't like where you are, you can change where you are. But you got to get to the point where you start to realize, hey, something about me has to change. Ricardo has written a book called Effective Living. I'm joined with Sabrina Williams today. Now, we're talking principles today. We're talking how do we get the book to engage in the practices necessary for winning. So, Sabrina, there are so many statements in the book. I'm going to do next month, actually, I'm going to do a whole series of talks just from the principles that are in the book. And so if you guys get your copy early, during the month of May, we're going to be teaching from the book on the front line of my social media platform. So get yourself a copy of the book. Now, Sabrina, your statements, your quotes, your eye-popping moments that you saw in the book, you was like, this one right here, this is the one I love. Give us a few of them for us, please.
Yeah. Okay, so managing your emotions on page 56, you say, effective living is both understanding and mastering your emotions, feelings, and reactions. I love that because if you don't control your emotions, you do things spontaneously that has nothing to do with your purpose. You make decisions that you have to live with way beyond that moment. And so sometimes we don't look at how our feelings and emotions may be dictating the decisions that we're making. And so you've given us a full scope of not just our body and mind, but just our emotions as well. What do we need to do to captivate, be aware of our emotions so that is not the prominent decision making in everything we do?
Wow. And a lot of people don't realize how you have to look at your emotion. In addition, I talk about don't let your feelings be your guide. Your vision needs to be your guide.
Yeah.
So that whole emotion thing.
Yeah.
Well, you don't understand how I feel. Well,
yeah.
Here's the deal. How's life working for you?
Is that working out?
It's not working out. Come on. If it's not working out, you gotta say, man, listen, Sabrina, I'm 45 years old, I'll be 46 in October. I'm getting to a point where I don't want to keep going around the same mountain. I don't want to be saying in January every year, this is going to be my year.
Yeah.
I don't want.
I hate that.
Yeah.
What did you do different that this is going to be a different year? Like, don't say that again. Like,
come on, don't say that. Different? Yeah. Different. So here's the deal. We talked about emotions, and a lot of times in that particular time of the year, people are tapping into their emotions, and they're sort of feeding that to think it's going to be a difference maker for the new year. What I'm saying to you is, You're going to have to tell yourself, I need a vision for my life. I need to figure out my why. Sabrina
Yeah.
mentioned it. The first chapter in the book is all about discovering your why. Your why is the purpose. The late Dr. Miles Monroe says it like this. He said, where purpose is unknown, abuse is inevitable. We don't want you to lose. We want you to win.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, let me show you my next one. I told you got so many in here. I could just talk about these points all day. But I like this one on page 70. You talked about the past, and then you say, sadly, this is a lose-lose situation. Forgive yourself for the poor decisions you have made. You did what you did based on where you were at the time.
Yeah.
I think that we also allow condemnation, fear from making us keep going.
Yep.
Put that to the back.
Yep.
You know, that happened. Let's keep going.
Yep.
Because failure is going to happen. And if we look at it just failure, we get stuck. Yep. If we look at it as a lesson, we'll learn and move forward.
Yep.
And so I love that you talk about that, because people will just sit in that so long. Yep. Well, I lost $10,000 before, so I'm not going to venture out and do anything again.
Yep.
You know, then that's why I love that these are tools, you know, thinking, processing, going through the plan of it, evaluating yourself, evaluating what you're doing, so that the next time you go out there, you know, you have sound tools to help you. So I love that. Don't get stuck in your past.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined with my good friend Sabrina Williams. We're talking about effective living, the book. I don't care where you are. You can be in Nigeria. You could be in the Bahamas. You could be in Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, St. Kitts. I mean, no matter where you are, you could decide right now to go get the Kindle version. Okay, you say, listen, man, I'm gonna get the Kindle version and get it instantly. Or you could say, I'm gonna go to Ricardo Miller's website and I'm gonna make sure that I get me a copy of the hardback. What is that gonna do for you? You're gonna have a signed copy. You know it's a little bit more valuable for the signed copy because Ricardo himself signed the copy. Come on, man. I signed the copy. I made sure that I put a word in there for you. Okay, a special word for you. So go get your copy at my website, Sabrina. As we bring this in, I had questions are coming in. You know, the person's watching this right now. They're saying, you got the book, I got the book, a lot of other people got the book. Let's dive in just for a couple of minutes. Your view on buying a copy. Challenge them to go to ricardomiller.com. Let's bring this in, because at the end of the day, there will be people who are not going to procrastinate. They're going to be executors.
Yeah.
And they're not, I got to get that book one day. Well, hey, it's a good day. It's Friday.
Today is a great day.
Today is a great day. Go ahead, Sabrina.
I want to tell you why you get this book. You know, a lot of books give you theories, and we've been talking about this the entire time. They'll give you the theories of why you should do something. And when you finish reading that book, you got a lot of theories of why you should do it. And you already probably knew why you should do it. That's why you bought the book. But this one actually gives you the tools on how to do it. And that's what I like about it. And you can go back and reference it anytime when you get stuck in the process. Oh, what did he say about that? Or what should I do? I love the affirmations in here to help build up your confidence. And when you're feeling stuck, it just has everything that you need to help get you going to where you need to be. If you're not living that effective life, you don't want to spend, after COVID-19, you don't want to spend another day wasting your time not being all that you could be. If you are a parent, if you are a leader, if you're a church leader, wherever you are, you need to make sure that you're properly have everything you need to be an effective leader so you can live that effective life. And so this book, it encompasses that: business owner, ministries, church, personal. It has everything in it for whatever walk of life you're in. So you need to get this copy today. Like, let that off your check. I'm not procrastinating today. Check, done.
Yeah.
Done.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been challenged. You've been challenged by my good friend Sabrina Williams. We're talking about effective living, the book. We want you to get a copy of the book. We want you to practically take the time out, look at the pieces that you need to look at, and then tell yourself, you know what? I need to put this piece in place. I need to put this piece in place, because a life that is being lived effectively, it has to be done intentionally. Yeah. And as you do it from an intentional standpoint, you're going to start to realize there are these deliberate pieces that has to go into play to build what you will eventually be experiencing.
Yeah.
So an effective life is built.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's not a destination, but it's a journey that you acquire information that brings you to a new place of discovery where the greater truth starts to come alive. And you say, boy, I wish I knew this 20 years ago. But when you discover it, you need to make a commitment to apply it. Get the book to discover what you need to know, to go to that level where we talk about creating a life you don't need a vacation from.
Yeah.
Wow. Sabrina, as we close out our talk, when you think about the term effective living, now that you've read the book and really meditated and thought about the thoughts that have really captured this whole book and where you are, what does effective living look like to you?
Effective living looks like to me being my authentic self without the bondage of having to do other people's agendas.
Yep.
You know, I'm fully walking in my purpose and living the life that was intended for me. That's effective living.
Come on. I'm living the life that was intended for me. That's what it's all about. Now, here's the deal. Some people really have to do a lot of work because they've been so far from where they belong that you gotta put on the notification and stay connected to Effective Living, the platform. You gotta get whatever you need as the book, the webinars, the seminars. You gotta get around the right set of people so that you could say, you know what? The rest of my life is gonna be the best of my life.
Yep.
Sabrina, how can people get a hold of you, follow you, just sort of stay connected to you if they desire to do that?
All my platforms are Sabrina L. Williams, and so you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Connect with me.
Come on. It's a party. We're celebrating 1 year, y'all. Effective Living, the book. 1 year. If you have not gotten your copy yet, my good friend Sabrina Williams, join me, challenging you to get the book. I promise you, you won't regret having a book like this in your collection of great reads. I wrote the book. I think it's a must-have. And here's the deal. When you get your book, if you get it at ricardomiller.com, I'm going to sign it. But now, in addition, I want you to go ahead and give me a review and give me a picture and say, Ricardo, I got the book. Love you all. Sabrina, thank you for joining me on this beautiful Friday afternoon or evening. I know you're a busy woman, and I love Chicago. Hadn't been there in a while. Give my love to the family. Keep crushing it, lady. Thank you for sharing your time with us.
No problem.
Bye, everyone. God bless you guys. Don't forget, get your copy of Effective Living today. Bye-bye.